The story that I had in mind was about my friend. He's always putting in a lot of effort into a lot of different parts of his life, and one of the things that he wanted to do is stop consuming marijuana. He was really on track. So he talks to me about his goals sometimes. Then one thing that happened is he was hanging out with a friend, and then he did it again socially. Sometimes I don't really know what to say about it, and maybe I'm scared to say what I actually feel. Like, we talked about it afterwards, like we had a conversation about it, and then he was like, oh yeah, like I smoked and it didn't feel good. More from the idea that, you know, you can always see things from different perspectives, and it's not necessarily wrong. I think maybe it was a result of lacking a spine in that conversation. He was the one who had to say to me, don't tell me it's not wrong. I think maybe because you know what you want to say to me, and I wasn't saying it to him. But maybe that holds me back from, maybe there's something else that we can be doing. That honesty with the people we love is really important. I think maybe if I apply this to my life, I haven't smoked weed, but when I'm thinking about like how I want to stop something, I think one of the things he told me that he tells himself is that he was saying he wants to be someone that his family can rely on at his father's funeral. So if his dad were to die, he could be someone the family can rely on, you know, financially, for emotional support. And I think that's what made him realize that he had to make all these changes in his life, including stopping taking certain things. And I think that's something I can apply in my life when I'm thinking about wanting to stop something as well. I think one thing is, maybe if I'm in a position where I'm taking something, it's also accompanied by a lot of other choices that may be holding me back. You can definitely see a difference between him post and him pre-stopping. I'll try to be specific, but it didn't seem as if he had his life in the order that he would have wanted to have. At one point he was suicidal because he felt that when you're studying overseas, studies is a big thing, and when you're not performing there, it really puts you down. Also overweight. Yeah, I think there's a lot of choices that he wouldn't have made if he had full control over what he chose and if he knew better, based on what he thinks is good for himself. I think him stopping was part of a bigger picture of him wanting to take responsibility for his life and wanting, like, you know, to be that person his family can rely on. He's exercising a lot more. He's taking care of his diet, has a schedule that he abides by now. He's very successful with his studies now, and he's really achieving his goals. And I think that starting with that reason makes him make changes in his life. Taking that thing out helps a lot more. One of the things I saw a video about is, in life we have these things called keystone habits. So for example, let's say me, I stopped smoking. It's usually accompanied by other changes in my life that are really beneficial. Maybe I start going to the gym, studying more, eating healthy. And so that keystone habit helps you make other changes in your life much more easily. And I think that's part of what happened with him. But I think overwhelmingly is his reasoning and his purpose, which is he wants to take more responsibility over his life. You know, these sort of drugs, they release levels of dopamine in our brain, sometimes like either indirectly or directly in our brain. And so what happens is it makes us happy and it makes us want to do the activity again. We then need more of the same thing to make us happy and release the same amount of dopamine, because our brain becomes, the sensitivity of the dopamine receptors decrease. So then I find less pleasure in doing other things. Spending time with my family, dah kurang best, or study, kurang best. I think when something like that is taken out, there's always this level of withdrawal, but then a drive to fulfill these other things, make these things the things that make me happy. And I think that's what drove him as well. Firstly is obviously thinking about what our notion of happiness is, because I don't think pleasure is the same thing as happiness. But maybe in his consumption of pleasurable things, my life seems to me to be happy, but maybe it's not. Maybe my life is not all that it could be because I'm still doing this. So I might be happy, but what if I could be happier?